guys, welcome back. I am doing more jams and jellies. I love them. They are one of my favorite parts of canning and making I've got so many different recipes for them. My great-grandmother's book is filled with them. So, let's get this started. In here, I've got 4 cups of frozen organic blueberries, 2 cups of my frozen organic homegrown rhubarb that was covered in its own sugar syrup. So you never want to have more than 6 cups of berries. And then I'm going to dump 4 cups of sugar on top of it. Yes, 4 cups. I know that's a lot for me. But this particular batch here is going to be for family, and they like sugar. And then we're just going to stir it up so that it can start making a juice and start defrosting. And then we're just going to let it sit for about 45 minutes and defrost and create its own syrup. And then we're going to get started on making our jam. We'll be back, you guys. Alright guys, here we go. Now, because there's so much sugar in it, it won't look extra syrupy and extra liquidy. It's just going to look like this big, wet, dense mush, which is fine because we're boiling it down into a jam. Then I add a 1/3 cup lemon juice and 8 ounces of, this time I have plum pectin. I'm out of apple pectin. Plum pectin works just as well as apple pectin. I have an 8-ounce jar. I had shaken it all up. We're going to mix it all. I make my plum pectin exactly the same way I make my apple pectin. I boil my plums, and then I put the plum juice into a crock pot and cook it down and get pectin. And plum pectin works just as well as apple. Alright, all mixed up. Turn it on medium because we don't ever, well, if you want to stand and hover and not move and constantly stir 100% the whole time, you can put it on high. And even then you have a chance of burning your jam or jelly. So I always do my jams and jellies on medium. And then we're just going to let this start cooking and boiling, and we'll be back, you guys. Alright guys, it's been 25 minutes, and you see how liquidy it's gotten? It hasn't started to boil yet, but all of the sugars and the pectin and the lemon juice have all warmed up, mixed together, and heated up to create this nice, beautiful blueberry rhubarb liquid juice. And then we're just gonna let it boil, and it'll boil down, and we'll have thick look at all those blueberries. Remember, we have 4 cups of frozen organic blueberries. As you can see, they're wild. Look how tiny they are. They're wild. These are wild, low bush organic blueberries. You can use any kind of blueberries you want, just so long as it's 4 cups of blueberries and 2 cups of rhubarb. This is 25 minutes, and we're just going to let it keep boiling. It hasn't actually come up to a boil yet, but it's very warm and very close. So we're just going to let it keep going. Alright guys, we'll be back. Okay guys, it has been When I say boiling for 35 minutes, I don't mean boiling. I mean, I turned it on 35 minutes ago, and it started boiling at about 30 minutes. But as you can see, when I stir it, the boil goes away and stays away, and we're far from down. This is going to boil down maybe a little bit more than half. As you can see, the rhubarb is starting to get dark red and suck up the color of the blueberry. And the blueberries, because they're small, wild, organic, they might not break down as well as those larger market blueberries. So the blueberries are going to probably stay quite formed, quite round. Oh, it's going to be wonderful. So you'll bite into the jam and get big bursts of blueberry. And the rhubarb, of course, will boil. It's already starting to smash apart. The rhubarb will boil down, and then see, the rhubarb will just crush right apart. And that's what's going to happen to almost, probably all the rhubarb. Alright guys, we're at 38 minutes. Let's just keep letting it go. We'll be back, you guys. Hey guys, I am back. It's been 35 some minutes since I was recording. Altogether, the heat has been turned on for an hour and 5 minutes. It's just starting to get rid of all of the water content that was in it and start getting down to just the juice. And the rhubarb and blueberries are actually, rhubarb included, holding its shape quite well. But we're only at not even 225 degrees, so we're going to keep boiling. I always run it for the sheeting test, but I also like to run a thermometer whenever I'm making a new recipe. Like I said, this is a recipe I got out of my great-grandma's cookbook. If you'd like to see a video on all the different cookbooks I have, leave a comment down below and let me know. Say, I want to see the cookbooks. And I'll make a video on all the different cookbooks I have. Take into mind, a lot of the cookbooks I have, you can't get anymore, or you would have to order from Amazon and find an antique book. So a lot of my cookbooks have come and passed down generation by generation. But we're going to keep letting this boil. It's very much not sheeting yet. It's just getting rid of all of its water. And it's not even at a softball. Softball is a stage of jam. It's a, it means that when you pull it out on a spoon, it creates and holds a soft, small ball, circle. So, soft ball. A ball that'll, a jam or jelly that'll fall apart and smear nicely. And that's what we're bringing it up to. And that is 235 degrees for a softball. At the moment, I'm only sitting at not even 225. So, we're now at an hour and almost 9 minutes of boiling. So, we're just going to keep letting it boil. Keep letting it go. We'll be back, you guys. I can tell you this much, though. It is getting close. I can tell by the look of the bubbles on top. We'll be back. Okay, guys, we are at 120, an hour and 25 minutes. I've been boiling for 100 hours, you guys. Anyways. Hour and 25 minutes. And my temperature gauge reads 230, But then when I stir it, and this is an important tip, you always read it after the stir, because when I stir it, it drops down to 125. And I can tell you by, I mean, it looks nice and done. This is actually perfect pancake syrup. If you want to stop right here, you got pancake syrup. And you see how thick or thin that still is? Let's see. Yeah, you see how thin that still is? It doesn't stick to the spoon. It just slides right off the spoon. No, my husband's gonna laugh at me. See how it just slides right off the spoon? It's definitely not ready yet. So much of the berries and the rhubarb kept most of their shape. Oh, this is going to be some really nice thick jam. Alright guys, we'll be back. Alright guys, there we have it. It has been an hour and an hour and 37 minutes of boiling. And it's at, after stirring, 135 degrees. And as you can see, it is much thicker. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it off, let it cool for 5 minutes, put it in our jars, and then can our jars. Now, someone asked me if I could go back to doing full videos and include the water bath canning for each and every individual jam, or the actual steps of the pressure canning for each and every pressure canning video I do. Now, this will make my videos a little bit longer. So if you know what you're doing when it comes to that, please feel free to like my video, leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next one. If not, stick around and we will be boiling this down. And for those who know how to do water bath canning, is processing time of 25 minutes. We'll be back, you guys. Guys, this has had about 15 minutes to sit because I got busy doing things. But another trick to knowing that you have boiled it enough is, as you can see, when I tilt it, you see how thick it is, and you see how it's wrinkly like skin. And then I have my jars that have been washed and cleaned and sterilized. I baked them in the oven on 250 degrees for 15 minutes, and then I let them cool off. And now I'm going to fill them up, and then we're going to process them. Oh. That is very thick and very wonderful. Oops. Mess. This is so beautifully thick. I didn't realize I was still filming, you guys. Sorry. Talk about boring. I'll get my husband to speed that little bit up. Or my daughter, depending upon who edits the video. I think I'm going to call this jam, since it's blueberry and rhubarb, and that's all that's written in her book is blueberry rhubarb jam. I think I'm going to call this a BlueBarb. Yes, BlueBarb. I know, I'm cheesy mom humor. It works. Alright guys, I got 4 jars here. I'm going to get them prepped and ready to be processed. We'll be back. Alright, here we go, you guys. We've got our 3 of our 4 jars, because my 4th jar over here is a small one. It's one of those lids on it. See, this goes right in my fridge. You can already see that it's, maybe you can see that it's set. There we go, see? That goes in my fridge, so that doesn't have to be processed. But those have to be processed, so we're going to turn it on to high in a water bath canner. We're going to bring it up to a boil where it's at quote-unquote processing. And then we process for 25 minutes. We'll be back. Alright guys, that is processing. You see that hard rolling boil? We want to leave the lid on it to allow it to be up to the full heat necessary to kill any bacteria. Alright, we're going to let this process for 25 minutes and we'll be back. Alright, it's been processing for 25 minutes. Now I'm just going to turn it off. Let it come down from a boil. And once it's down from a good boil, we'll take off the lid and let it sit for 5 minutes and then remove the jars to let it cool. We'll be back, you guys. And there we have it. It has been 5 minutes. Come on, open up. My canner lifter isn't working, guys. Give me a minute. Alright guys, it's been 5 minutes, so we're just going to carefully take these out. You want to try not to tip them so you don't get jelly up under the rims and the lids. And we're going to let these cool and they'll ping, and then we'll let them cool down all the way, and we'll take the rings off. And then we'll label them and put them away. We'll be back. And there we have it, you guys. 4 jars of processed BlueBarb Jam. Now, yes, before you start yelling, oh, this is a reusable jar, and it's not good for you. This is not for long-term storage, you guys. This is going right and straight into my fridge so it can be used. See? Watch. Into my fridge. These will be going on my shelf for long-term storage. And as you can see, like I said before, the plum pectin works just as well as apple pectin. Alright guys, thanks for coming along on this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next time. And remember, stay positive. Bye guys!